Okay, so today I'm gonna go full install of custom UE5, and it's gonna be a long stream. And it's probably gonna be in a couple of parts, and maybe I'll be able to break it up and kind of like find some way to edit it for final use. But for now, this is what it is. So we're gonna go. The only thing I'm not gonna do is re-download the pre-compiled stuff, but I am going to do everything except for that, right? So I'm gonna go to, let's go to my, I'm gonna go to, not here, I'm gonna go to my GitHub, and we'll just start from the beginning. Okay, so I got a starter guide right here. All right, so the prerequisite software, we wanna make sure we have it set up. So I'm gonna go, and hopefully no one tries to hack me and shit, because, you know, I don't know what they would find, but let me see what it's install, or maybe uninstall. Add or remove programs. All right, so let's look for whatever, Visual Studio. Visual Studio. All right, and I've got this installer here. I've got .NET 8, I think, set up with .NET 8, or I don't even know how it is. But just in case, I don't know, I've got a whole bunch of different versions. We got the .NET runtime. So I've got that set up already. For the Visual Studio, I'm not sure if I have everything, which I'm pretty sure I do since I've been using it forever. But let's just go to the website and take a look. So do I have a link to it? I think I do. Here we go. We'll go to community, free download. And I'll just download it to download section. Oh, it's done. Go ahead and run it. Sure, whatever. Alright, before we get started, set up things, I guess. I don't know. This might be an updated version as well, so I don't know if that's gonna matter. Alright, so do its install thing, whatever that is. Alright, we'll say, let's go ahead and update it, I guess. Available. Preview, I don't know what that is. Before we get started, some of your selection no longer fully supported. Okay. I don't know what that means. Uninstalling a net core toolset. Well, hopefully I have everything. We'll see. And wow, there's a lot of packages to install. And I know people have been running into some issues with the setup, and so this will be a good opportunity to see if I can maybe come across those issues. Like, I'm hoping I don't come across those issues because they suck. But if they do come, you know, we're good. What's installing so much stuff? Okay, so while that's doing that, let's go back and see if there's anything else we need to look at. That's not here. I'll close that for now. Well, actually, I want that open. Go back to the guide. Alright, so there we go. So starter guide, making sure you got the prerequisite software. So .NET 8, which I know I have, and then we're doing this Visual Studio thing to get everything updated, I guess. And I don't know how to check to see what you have and what you don't have, although we got .9 now. Hopefully that doesn't cause any issues. We'll see. Got release notes, wherever these are. Okay, cool. So, whatever. Alright, so we got the installed custom UI. So here's the pre-compiled drive. Grab part 1, part 2, whatever. If it's too big, you might have to do it in pieces or use the drive if it's still up. If anyone runs into an issue where it's not up still or something, let me know and I can see what I can do to help out. And there might be other locations. So let's go to where I have all of my stuff. So it's always advisable to keep it as close to like one of your drives as possible. So like this is my D drive, so I've got my UEV folder here and I got my stuff in here. So I had a bunch of like full engines and everything else, but I kind of got rid of it. So ideally you want to just export this. So I'm going to open it with WinRAR, I think is what this one is in. Alright, it's 40-day trial is over. Does that mean I can't use it? I don't even know. I'm going to close that. I have no idea what that means. But I'm going to go ahead and extract to there. Let me open this up quick. Windows. Okay. Alright, so we're going to extract to this drive in my UE folder. Okay. And then it's going to take forever. And you select both of them and then you just do it. It might take forever, it might not, I don't know, we'll see. It's saying 7 minutes, 8 minutes, 9 minutes. Blah. Okay, so let's let that do its thing. While that's doing its thing, let's see what we got next. So once you get that in, it's a pre-compiled engine, so you shouldn't have to build the engine itself once you have it. Alright? So we got Konji's project. So Konji's project is here. And I know people use like desktop Git and stuff to get it set up, but I don't know how. I always mess that up. So you can get it here. I don't know if this isn't how new this one is. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm just going to grab this one. So I'm going to grab it and just download the zip. Here we go. And I'm actually going to save this one in my UE folder that I already have set up. So here is the zip here. This was, I don't know when I downloaded this one, but we're going to just replace it. Yeah, replace it. That's going to do its download thing whenever. Able to do that. This thing is still working. So I got to check some error on this. It's saying the DLL file is corrupt. And I've had some issues like that before, and I think this is in part 1. So what I did in the past is I just re-exported part 1 and it seemed to work fine. So I don't know if that's going to be the same case here. We'll have to find out. But yeah, so we got 13 minutes of goodness for that. We've got this downloaded. Alright, so we can go ahead and do that. And I'm going to go ahead and unzip this one as well. And I don't know if it's the best idea to have a bunch of stuff running at the same time. But I'm going to use 7Z and we'll just go ahead and extract that. Just so that it's out and ready. Is this what's being downloaded right now? Is it just downloading? Did I just export it like right into this folder? Alright, I would not advise doing that. I would advise exporting it into a folder rather than what it's doing now, but whatever. It's already done. What is this mode? Alright, 15 minutes. What that's going to take. So yeah, I would not suggest doing what I just did. I would suggest putting it into its own folder. And so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to make a new, I'm going to make a UE5 folder to put it in. So I'll just make that now. Folder. Let's see. UE. Hey. I'm making it. Here we go. So let's say UE5. I'll call it custom. Hey. I don't think the folder itself name is an issue, but we shall see. Alright, 20 minutes. It's a pretty big file. I think it's like 50 gigs when it's all said and done, or something like that. So make sure you have enough space for it as well. So yeah, because this is like almost, it's like 9 gigs right here, but when it's fully expanded, it's like 50 something, 50 or 60, I think. Like, I don't know what this is. But yeah, so we've got the project, and I'm not going to do anything with this project until this is done, right? So I'm kind of just on hold for another 20 minutes as this goes on. But let's look at the guide and see if there's anything we can work on in the meantime. So this is when the engine is done. Let me just see if I kill it. Hold on. We'll go through that process. The setting up of UE5 is what it is as well, right? So can't really do much. Some of the things that we could mess with if we wanted to get ready is to set up the blender section, which here I'm doing blender 3.6 would be the one I would suggest. The armature fix, I'm going to go ahead and get the link for that. So that is, you can go to techandmods.com. And I think it's in, might be in, I don't think, actually it's not in documentation. Let's say articles. Let's go check out some articles. Got rigid body physics, good stuff there. And this is actually going to be in the Tekken 7 stuff here, importing custom meshes, by our good friend Dennis. So we're just going to scroll all the way down here, and this is the stuff that we need. And I'm just gonna, I don't know how to like, we'll just do this, because I don't want to just take it off of the site. I can go in here and see if I can edit this section real quick. Edit. I mean, I got time, right? So that's precompiled stuff, setting up UE5. This bottom part here. So we've got how does these work? So it's just, okay, we'll put the link there, and then in front of it, say go to, what is it called? Working in Blender section. Okay, cool. So we'll go ahead and save that. Alright, so now you should be able to just link right to that site. And basically what you do is you got to go find this script, right? Navigate to where it is. So Blender 3.6. I don't even, this might be how mine is. I don't know how mine is set up. Let's take a look. So C drive. programs or program files. Blender Foundation. Find your version of Blender. I can't believe I have 3.4 and 3.6 still up, or whatever. 3.6. I think it's in 3.6. I want to say it's in Python. No, I think it's in scripts. And then, or maybe not. Let me look. It is in scripts add-ons. And then we're looking for the IO scene stuff. So IO scene, FX, right here. And then we're looking at one of these files, I think. So the export FBX bin, which I believe mine is already edited. So you can just open it up and you're just going to search for this. So copy that. Control F, search for it. Boom, it'll take you right down here. Now I've already done it, but all you're doing is just adding these hashtags here, and it kind of like exit out this code or whatever. Okay. That's it. So see, looks just like mine. It doesn't need to be in the same order. It can be. You can just add the hashtags in front, and it works. Save it. Make sure you just save it. Don't save it as like a text file or something. Just make sure you just save it. It'll save it as a Python code, and you're good. And that's it. That fixes that. And what that does is it allows you to use, like, if you don't do that, you have to do a bunch of like armature adjustments whenever you export every single thing. So if you don't want to deal with that headache, then that will help you. All right, 28 minutes. So it's a good chance that I'm not gonna have anything more I can do, and I'm just gonna have to let this run and do its thing. The thing about modding is it takes time. It takes time and some resources, right? So you need to make sure you have space on your computer for it. If you barely have space, or you have a really bad GPU and stuff, you can still work on it. I know some people that have done mods on some pretty potato setups, but it will take longer to do certain things just because of the time it takes to process. So, and then make sure, of course, you have enough space for everything. Yeah, so it's just extracting, doing its thing. And I just want to be patient. I don't really interrupt it or try to make any changes to it. Just see what happens. So far I've got one error. I don't know how important that is. So I'm going to redo part 1 once this is done. And it shouldn't take nearly as long. And see if I can do it without an error, so that way I'm working with it with a clean thing. I don't know if I have any other versions of Unreal Engine set up on my computer right now, but we're good. Let's go back and check on this. Okay, this is done installing. And we can roll back, we can repair it. Let's see what modify is. Okay, so I want to make sure I have a couple of things installed. So I think in my guide I say what you should have. So let's look at the prerequisite stuff. So desktop development, C++, and then .NET desktop. So if we go in here, we have the desk development, C++, and the .NET desktop. I don't think you need this, but you can have it. I don't think this really helps anything. If you want this other stuff in there, I mean, you can. If you got the space for it, go ahead. So this is like game development. We got C++ core features, blah, blah, blah. We have the .NET environment. So that'll be good. So this is all the stuff that we'll be getting. If you know what you're doing, you could change stuff around. Like, I don't know what adding the Windows thing would do. Like, maybe I'll just add it for the hell of it. I don't know. But that's, like I said, it's going to be up to everybody else. I think you need this. I've seen things with the C++ modules for the build, so I'm going to make sure those are checked. I'm just going to check all of this, right? Like, I got plenty of space. But if you don't have plenty of space, I don't know. The mobile development. Where's the individual components? So we got the .NET stuff being installed. We got these frameworks being installed. I think are necessary. Git for Windows. I don't know what that is. I'm gonna install it. Sounds cool. I don't know what a test adapter is. But how much is it gonna add to my stuff? Oh, 2 gigs. And this is going on to my hard drive, which I only have like 50 gigs on, so I'm like, what do I need? What are the bare minimums? Let's go back to here. Going through and see if there's anything here. I don't know if I'll ever need those, but I'm just gonna get them. Grab that. So I was looking at like 20 gigs of stuff. Like I said, I don't know for sure which all of these pieces do, but worst case scenario, I just get rid of them later. I think we were talking about it in the Discord, but I don't want to open the Discord because there's a lot of... Oh, what is this? Node? I don't know what that is. Alright, so I think... Interactive development, source control for Python scripts and web apps using... Yep, so I'm just going to go ahead and say we're good, and then it's going to start doing its thing. And that's going to take a minute as well. But it's a setup process. And so if I'm checking out my numbers right now, we're looking at 10 gigs for the precompiled engine. And then it'll expand to be about 50 gigs, I think. So we're looking at like 60 something gigs there. I'm putting in 20 gigs for the Visual Studio. We may or may not need that, all of the pieces. I'll have to ask someone who's smarter than myself about that. See if we can streamline it and make sure we're just getting the things we need. I've got the Conji's project, which I think is about... Let's go back to it. So that project is pretty small, right? Go to properties. I mean, it looks like, all right, so we got 2 gigs, 3 gigs. So, okay, so we're looking at, what, I said 60, like, it's like 100 gigs. Now, can that be smaller? I don't know. Hopefully it can be. But you are gonna need some space to work with. So if I was gonna suggest any space, it'd be like, have 100 gigs. That might be far more than you need. I don't know. But it is what it is. Alright, so that's doing its thing there. This thing is at about 10 minutes. And let's go back to the guide to see if there's anything else we can mess with. Now there's different add-ons you can get if you're working with Blender 4 series, or I think 4.2 and above, or maybe they're, yeah, 4.2 and above. I believe they're using extensions. So the community is getting updated on trying to set up extensions and using those. The same thing as add-ons. It's just they're using like a cloud-based setup to get it done, and it's like drag and drop add-ons. You know what I mean? Like you get it, you just drag and drop it. Installing add-ons hasn't been exceptionally difficult. overall. The only thing I don't like is that manual install is a little bit more convoluted, but the auto install is super easy. It's ridiculously easy. So I think that'll be a good thing overall for the Blender world. But you're going to need Blender for anything you're dealing with your mesh. And your mesh is going to be your 3D models and things of that nature. You want to make sure you have Fmodel installed. So I'll take a look at Fmodel while I'm waiting. Fmodel, it's pretty simple to set up. Your first thing is going to be, you're going to see this screen. You're going to look for the, you choose add undetected game. You'll set that to whatever you want to name it. I could put Tekken 8. You'll look for where your files are, right? Where your Tekken files are. So you need to figure out where that's at. You can go and find it through Steam. If you already know it is because you use mods and things of that nature, then just go to that. But you're going to go to the folder that has your pack folders at these, right? So it can load them. Once you do that, then you'll just hit plus to add it to your directory set, and then you'll make sure that it's set to UE 5.2. And that's how to set that part. The inside part is pretty simple. You're going to set up an output directory where it's going to spit out all of your stuff. I don't know what this means, but I'll just keep it on. Your archives directory is going to be where this is the location that you set earlier when you initially set it up. Of course, you have your game version set. You don't change this at all. You can keep directory structure or not. I prefer to keep it on there. Basically, that means that whenever it exports something, it'll export it within the structure that it is in the game. So I keep that on unless I have something specific I want to do, like I want to get a bunch of UI pictures or something. I want them all to one specific folder. I will go ahead and change that, and then change it back to this when I'm done. Your mapping file, you can get a mapping file on my setup. I have an Fmodel setup, so you can grab a mapping file there. I think they have it on the Modding Zaibatsu Discord as well. I don't know if it's on Second Mods, but those are two places you can go to look for that mapping file. Or you can make your own. It's up to you. Make sure, of course, it's enabled. There's no keys or anything for this, so don't worry about that. And that's pretty much it. You'll go into models and make sure you have things set up. I turn levels off because from right now I don't need to look at them. But if you turn it on, you can look, get kind of preview of how the sub levels are set up, and such and such. We can now do PNG with the most recent version. Before we only had like, I think, no, we can do TGA now. Before we only had PNG, so we get that benefit there. For here, you can do a GLTF, and I haven't tried these other ones. Well, they say not implemented, so you can't use that one. But the PSK, PSKX are pretty much your sure bets. Export bone sockets as bones. I don't see any reason to not change that, so keep it as a set. And of course, if your directory is different, I'm going to change that, which I am going to change because I don't know why that directory. That should be this one. So I'm not sure why my directory was different. And then if you make any change, it'll just restart your Fmodel. Alright, but we're still at 10 minutes on this thing. Let's see where we're at here. This doesn't really have a time. But it's got a lot of stuff to install and get set up. So the setup process does take a long time. There's no way really around that. In my experience, any efforts to try to take shortcuts is going to result in problems. So I highly discourage it. I tried to build this as like baby steps as possible, right? Do each of these things and you should be good. This is the part where everyone's getting hung up, and this is where I'm going to find out if I'm going to get hung up as well. Has something changed since I initially set my stuff up, or not? I just recently did it. It got messed up. I'm doing this again because I was trying to make some new asset types, and I made one, and I was like, yes, I'm good to go. And then I went in and tried to make another, and it didn't turn out so well. And I tried to fix it on my own with just brute force, not really knowing what I'm doing, and I just kind of jacked up a lot of different things, and I couldn't figure out how to take it back to zero. So if you are going to change a project or something, make a backup of it first, and then try, or ask somebody else to help with it. Just ask around in the UV channel. People are busy though, so you may wait a while. But I'll bite the bullet every once in a while and try to change things myself and see how far I get. Sometimes I do well. I think in the video I did earlier, or yesterday, the first video I did yesterday, I think, stream, I ended up figuring out how to create a factory, and it worked surprisingly. I was like, what? This is insane. So I was super happy. I was able to use it in a later stream to work on a mod for the bears, because that's what I was working on. But there's another piece that I need, and when I tried to make that piece, it got all messed up. So I am going to try again, and hopefully I don't have to do all of this stuff again. And to be honest, I didn't have to do all of this again. I could have worked from a checkpoint, so to speak, but I figure it's better to... I don't think anyone's recorded this whole process. I think everyone just says, download and set it up and you're good to go, and then everyone just struggles. And then no one documents their struggles. We'll get help in the forum, but we don't really do a clear document. So that was kind of the reason why I have this document here on my GitHub for that. And I'm a bit of a control freak for some things when it comes to information and knowledge, so I have it here instead of on the Discord and things else. Because if I put something out and I can't access it to change it or update it, it just bugs the crap out of me. So this is all for me also, so that I don't forget what I'm doing and what I needed to do in case I get into this situation. But also help other people get to the point where I'm at. Because my ultimate goal is that people will make mods, right? And we've got some great talent in the community right now. We've got a lot of good, I guess, well, creatives now, I think is the term to call it. People doing a lot of expanding into more modeling. So it's a really good thing. Hopefully we'll have stages soon. That'll be pretty amazing. If we get custom materials, we'll be good. Right now, we're not going to be able to do custom materials. The only downside is a lot more upfront investment. We don't have any tools to circumvent a lot of things like we did in Tekken 7. So it's kind of a good and a bad thing, right? It's a bad thing because it's less convenient. There is that greater time investment when you start, space investments, etc. But your capabilities are right up there. All the modders are up at the same level. So we're not dealing with someone doing hack janky mods, then mid-level mods, and then upper-level mods. Now you're just doing upper-level mods, and they're either good or bad quality. Right? So you have that. And so it's a little bit cleaner as well. So, but there's a lot to learn for a lot of people. So pick your lane, right? Do you want to do UI mods? Do you want to do this? Mesh mods are probably, I don't think they're difficult personally, but if you've never dealt with 3D stuff, it can be a bit tasking. I would say go on Blender and just look up rigging, weight paint, tips and tricks for Blender are super helpful. Looks like I've got two other issues going on here. Okay, so it's saying that this asset, these textures are corrupt, which I'm not super concerned about the textures being corrupt. If they're corrupt, then they're corrupt, whatever, they're just textures. If I need them, I can replace them, I guess. So I don't think that's going to be a problem. This one, I'm worried about, this slate core one. And that's in part 1, so I'll redo that shortly. But we're down to a minute here. What's going on with the Visual Studio? It's looking at like 70%. I also want my VS fully installed as well before I start working with the project. So I want to make sure I have my .NET 8 framework, whatever, installed. I want to make sure the VS is up to date and installed, and I want to make sure the engine is fully unpacked and looking clean. Once those 3 things are done, then I want to go and work with the project and get that up and running. If you don't want to do the custom engine, then the only things you're going to be able to work with are UI stuff, and that'll probably get old pretty quickly, unless you just want to make a million panel arts and change the rank of a billion things. Then you're just fine. But anything beyond that, you're going to need the custom engine. So rather than having a 60 gig public version and a 60 gig private version or custom version that does the exact same thing, I would stick with that. The only other benefit from having another version of UE installed is that when you're in the UE marketplace and you're on the Epic Games launcher and you've got resources to pull over, you can pull them over into those versions of the game and then extract them and use them elsewhere. Alright, so as it's saying, this might take a while. Hopefully it doesn't. Looks like this is done, as far as I can tell. Alright, but I'm going to... Alright, so I'm going to find this Windows folder, and I'm going to grab... Just close this real quick, and I'll close this one real quick. And I'm going to grab this and throw this into here. Hopefully it doesn't take forever. Nice. And now I'm going to re-extract this one. Go in here and look. Alright. And I'll extract to a specified folder, which should be that. And let's see, so I just want to replace everything or rename. I just see, because the whole thing, I'm just gonna hit node. Well, I'm gonna say node all and see if it just skips everything. We'll see. Okay, so I ran into that same thing again. I'm gonna go ahead and cancel this for a second. It may not be an issue, I don't know. But I'm gonna do this. See, extract and update files. Okay, 1 second. Okay, so let's just see if it turns. Oh, wait, I want to do it. Okay, so this is done, it's launched. Okay, so we are good to go with that. So Let's see, I've got launchers here. So I'm gonna delete my previous launchers here. These are just shortcuts. And let's go back. So I'm gonna go into my custom and I'm gonna go to engine and then binaries and then Win64 and I'm looking for Unreal Editor. This. And I'm gonna go ahead and right click it and make a shortcut for it. Which will probably show up all the way at the bottom. There it is. So now I'm just going to cut this, put this into my launches folder. I like to keep, you know, I don't want to have to be going all over the place for stuff. So we'll put that there. And then I'm just gonna launch it. Alright, I'm just gonna allow. And I just want to see that it opens up and I don't have any errors. That's my goal. Right? I got it down and so let's take a look at it. Now, let's see. So yeah, here's the exe to load it. And it looks like it's opening fine. So I'm hoping that that is not a what's it called? A deal breaker. I'm hoping it's not a deal breaker. But I will find out. Alright, so that's going to open up Unreal Engine. Cool. So Unreal Engine is good. I don't need to make a project or anything right now. I'm not going to go look for a project. I'm just going to go ahead and cancel this. So it opened, which is a plus. So now I want to go back to where I saved it, like here. And we're going to go to our Polaris project. And we just have Polaris project here. I say in here that your root project is the one with the SLN, but you won't have the SLN unless it builds files. So I'll change the wording there. But I'm gonna go, well, let's just double click on it. Let's open it up. Okay, so it's gonna ask where the binary build is, right? For whatever engine. And I'll say okay. And then it should generate project files. There we go, we got the saved thing right here. Intermediate just got created. And so I'm using a clean, everything is clean. I just set all my stuff up not too long ago. But in this instance, my stuff is going to be completely empty, right? But it's going to have all the project stuff from the game. And so this is what should happen. It should open up, it'll say generating project files. It'll take a minute or so. Then this should pop up. And then I believe I should get another. Okay, so it's generating project files. So like 2 resets, I guess. I should have took a picture of the change sign, future reference, and there you go. And it creates this SLN, and then it says we don't have any of this crap. And it says, do you want to rebuild them? And I say yes. And then we use, in some cases, it'll have an issue where it'll be like, I can't build from source or whatever. And if that happens, then I'll be running into the same issues that other people have. If it doesn't happen, then I'm not sure what's causing those issues. But I just sit and leave it, right? I say build from source. It doesn't tell me it's doing anything. Nothing pops up. It just sits like this. And so in my guide, I say wait like 15 minutes because it could take a minute, right? So you just gotta be patient. So in this case, I'm probably just gonna walk away with this dude, go do something for a little bit, and then come back to it because, you know, I just don't want to bother it. You know what I mean? Look, see, binaries just popped up out of nowhere. But I have no idea what it's doing. I was getting an error that had, like, it didn't have certain, when I was messing with the project, it didn't have that certain versions. So that's why I added those other things to the Visual Studio project. But I don't know if that's the reason why it works good or it doesn't work good. But it does look like that error I got from the extraction of the files isn't problematic. At least right now, I don't see any issues with it happening. Okay, so another thing that we can do is we can start grabbing some resources that I want for my file. So I'm going to go and in my code section, there's some things that I want to add to my stuff. So I think this is already in the game, but I'm going to grab it anyways. This is going to be your bone references. So I'm going to go ahead and just, how do I do this? So I just click on it and then view raw and I can download it. And I'm just going to make a folder in here and I'm going to say, so I'm going to save that there. And let's go in here. What else do I want to have? I want to have my materials. I think materials 3.7 is the main one that I want. Yeah, materials 3.7. Pretty sure. And this is these are emulated materials I made a while ago, so that I can see how things are working. I still have some more refinement I want to do these, but for now, good. So we'll save that. Let's see, what else do I want? My own stuff. Okay, so these utility scripts, I want these. So get 1.017. That's what I want. Save that. And once I get the project set up, I'll show you how to initiate all of that stuff. And I could get this MENV base, but oh, we want this Raven clone. This is a material that I emulated as well. Okay, so see, it just opened, right? You just sit back, you don't do anything, it just opens. I think that maybe people don't have the other prerequisites fully installed, and that's causing some issues. That's the only thing I can think of, because I have cleared everything out. I've got a fresh version of VS and I've got a fresh version of .NET set up on my PC. And those are really the only two prerequisites for the UE system to work and build on. Or someone had errors with the install. But it's popping up and it's working. So I don't know. I didn't want to run into any issues, but I also didn't want to have to go through those issues. But I haven't done anything. Everything is just raw without any changes, right? So it's just gonna open up. And there we go. We got our stuff. There's not really much in this file, but you're gonna have to make stuff for it. Like I don't have really anything in any of these things. These have stuff in them that were created by okay, so Python, there's nothing in the Python section, nothing in the mod section. So let's get some of the additional pieces in here as well. Oh, but before we do that, let's set up the engine itself. So we go back to my GitHub. Alright, and we're gonna go to the wiki section, go back to our starter guide, and we're gonna do is set up the project. So we set it up, everything opened up. This is where we're at. So yeah, one of the other things I've seen people do is they'll start it and it looks like nothing happened, just like nothing happened when I was doing it, and then they'll try to run it again, and it causes conflicts. And I've had that issue happen early on, and then I made sure everything was off, ran it again, and then it worked. Or I reset, I can't remember which one I did. But either way, I don't know how to solve build problem exactly. But nonetheless, setting up UE files, go ahead and get it started. So I've got this set up, right? We got this project set up. Go to project settings, and I'm gonna split the screen. All right, so we go to project settings here, and let's see what we need to do. All right, we're gonna search for chunks, and make sure generate chunks is set on, right? Make sure generate chunks is set. We'll go to packaging, and we are in packaging. Make sure it says use packs and use IO store. So let's look it up. Packaging. Okay, so we got use packs and use IO stores turned on. Generate chunks is turned on as well. Make sure the build configuration is set to shipping. So is that in here? I don't know. So I'm going to just type in build. There we go, build configuration. We're going to switch that from development to shipping. Alright, we're going to search for materials and say share material code. This, and we'll make sure that is not checked. Okay, all right, cool. So that's that section. Now let's go to editor purposes, and we're going to look for allow chunk ID assignments, turn that on, and then I say go ahead and do a pack, but I'm not going to do that just yet. But when I do that, I'm gonna go up to platforms up here, and I'll do Windows, and I'll just package project, and it's gonna use the settings, which is shipping. Otherwise, you have to check it to that. All right, you turn that on, but we're gonna use this. All right, and then that's gonna be what happens when you actually pack it. But in the meantime, I'm gonna go ahead and show you how I would install the other assets that I got here. So I'm going to go to, nope, not downloads, but where I downloaded them, which is additional stuff. And I'm just going to unzip these. Okay, so if I go, let's see if this, how this works. So I've got this content, so I'm going to copy this content, and I'm going to go to my content folder here, and I'm going to see if I can go directly to it. I can't, so I'm going to find anything, right? I'm just going to click on anything that has an actual asset item in it. I don't care what it is, I'm just looking for something. Here we go. I'm going to right click on it, and I'm going to say show and explore. Alright, so that's going to take me to essentially the Explorer, like I just said, for my entire project. And I'm just going to keep going back to the point where I'm at in the content folder, and then I go one above it. Right? Cool. So I'm just going to take this, and I'm not going to move it, but I'm just going to copy it over here. And then sometimes it'll update automatically over here, and you'll see their stuff show up. Other times it won't, but I try to make it as easy as possible. So this is all you're doing, just grabbing these, copying them over. and I believe that this stuff is the same. So I've got all that stuff updated. I'm gonna run to the Discord real quick and grab his stuff. If Discord is working. Alright. And if we go to, I think in tutorial section, we've got a lot of the stuff. So let's look for these cool things. We just did the skin material, so these are great. So let's grab, or is these peaks skin materials? These omens. Where's the download at? You know, updated version somewhere. Okay, he just updated the main one, it looks like. Alright, so we'll grab this. Okay, and this is pretty big because it's got a lot of texture stuff in it. But I'm gonna go to folder, drop that in here. All right, what else does he got? That's good. Let's see. He's got a materials. His hair project is really nice. So we're gonna grab that. And let's see, I think he has one more thing that I think is good to have. No, I think that's it. Okay. The other place I will go to, I think I have it listed on my guide. Go down here to add resources to project. So there's the MSLPRP that I was talking about. There's my materials, and these are different things on the women's side. Oh, this cloth. All right, 1 second. Alright, so I just need to find the material, and this material that I'm talking about will be used for like your cloth stuff if you're using it. Find out where he put it. Okay, here we go. This one. And you can use the my MEMD if you want to, but this one has a little bit more okay, so that's doing that. Oops. Let's see. Alright, so let's, I mean, I don't know if this is done yet. I don't think so. Or is it? Yeah, 1.5 gigs. I think it's good, so let's go ahead and unzip this. Take a look at it. So he's got it in the comment folder for this one. We're going to go ahead and copy it. And where's the other? This one. Okay. So this one's in the comment folder. So you're going to go into content, and this will go here. So I'm just going to drop this one here. Let's see. This one. Go ahead and unzip this one. This one is the common environment, and you can see we have a common folder, and then in environment, I believe, is in this folder as well. We can double check. If I go into Fmodel and I pull up the structure, we see content, and then we see common, and then environment. So I'm going to drop both of these into this folder, copy it, and I'll replace that. No issue. And then the last thing, I think, is the skin. So show more options, extract the skin. Oh, and then, no, I think that's it. Where's this game project? Okay, so same thing, character and comment. Just grab this, copy. Oh. And all these resources are going to be great. Now, if you're just doing UI stuff where you don't want to use any of this stuff right now, then disregard all of it. But I like to have all this stuff available and accessible. So I'm going to do one thing quickly before, is I'm going to make sure I hit save all, and I'm going to reload the project. Right? So just reload it. That way, in case anything didn't update in the system, whether it's a texture or something, it should now. And then once I do that, we've got our engine pretty much set up to go. I'm going to go ahead and do a quick package just to make sure that it's working. And so I'm just going to use an empty mod. There's not going to be anything in it. It's just going to be a data asset turned into a mod. So here we are. It's messy. So I'm going to make a folder in here. It's called Reborn for me. And I'm going to create 2 folders. So I'd like to have archive and another folder test. And in my test folder is where I make stuff and then just delete it. I'm going to go down and I'm going to make a mod. So we're going to go a miscellaneous data asset. I'm going to go to primary, asset label, select, right? And I'm going to number it something. So I've got a bunch of mods already. So I want to, well, we're just going to do 99999. Right. Test. And so I'm just going to make this priority 1. I'll set this to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 nines. Set this to always cook. Apply recursively. Label assets in my directory and explicit assets all have like a specific purpose to be used. I'll just do a super quick brief on this. If you want to apply recursively, it'll take anything associated with any of the assets you identify. So if I were to click an asset and add it to this spot right here, anything that's associated with it. So if it has another file that's within it, that has another file within it, that has another file within it, that has another file it's attached to, all of those are going to get grouped together and put into the mod. In some cases that's good, some cases that's bad. I'm going to do a video on packing and strategies for that probably in the near future, but for now we're going to leave it at that. If you choose label assets in my directory, then anything that is within this folder or any subfolder that this is in, right? So if I put this in the reborn section, then it'll grab whatever assets are in the reborn and whatever else is in archive and test and so on and so on. So all the subfolders are set. So that's a good thing when you don't want to make like a million pieces. The other option is to use the explicit assets blueprint section here. Oh, not that part. Is here. You can add things in specifically. I can look for something and add it, right? So I'm gonna go ahead and delete these. Also, if you're not using these, delete them. Do not just leave them blank. It may or may not cause an issue, but in my case, it has caused issues. So I'm like, no. So I'm just looking for any random thing to put in here. Like I saw like a texture or something. Here we go, water normal. So that's gonna go in. Okay, so it's gonna do that. So I'm not gonna apply recursively, and I'm not gonna do label assets in my directory. I'm just going to do this. Also, if you have recursively and label assets in my directory, it'll go through and do that same recursive thing through all of the things within the folder and subfolders. So keep that in mind as well. All right, so we're just gonna save this. All right, cool. I like a nice save. All go up, Windows package. We haven't made a mod, and it'll automatically go to this area. So just use the default section. Select folder, and it's going to go through, and it's going to do an initial cook and an initial package, and it takes a hot minute. This is going to be the longest packaging that you'll experience until you have like 200 things in your project, right? When you start adding a whole bunch of things, and this is your project. When you start adding a whole bunch of things to your project, then of course it's going to take longer to cook. I don't think anybody adds as many. There's a few other people that might add as many things to a project as me, but it can definitely push it long. You have to do some cleanup. But this will take a good minute to do. So there's not really much else I can do in that regard. And yeah, and when it's said and done, we'll go ahead and have to get it set up. Alright, so unfortunately, I wasn't able to recreate any of the issues that I've seen. Alright, I haven't been able to create any of the issues that I've seen in the UE channel, so that is unfortunate. But hopefully, I maybe have shined some light on some things that maybe someone didn't do, or didn't see, or didn't notice. Or maybe they can reset like I did and just, you know, just do that, right? I've done this twice now, within the month. One was for a Tekken project because it was just so messy and junky, and I just wanted to clean it up and just start fresh. And then now recently, and in both cases, I haven't had any notable issues. So it makes it really hard for me to help troubleshoot when I can't recreate the problems. So I'm hoping that this will help resolve other people's issues. But that's really all I can do. And this is not something that I did myself, right? So now I want to make sure that's clear as well. I can help you with anything modding related, technical modding related. I can help with Blender stuff and a bunch of other things. But when it comes to the engine itself, this is me just doing what other people showed me and told me how to do. So a lot of it I may not understand. At least, like, I don't know how to pre-compile things and make them smaller and do whatever. I know a little bit and I'm learning more, but this is my fail-safe method, and uh, I've had more people be successful with this than not successful. So I'm hoping more people can fall in that realm, and hopefully they find something, because uh, I sense there's a bunch of people that are just right at the door that are willing to get this all working, and this is a big step. If you can't cross this step, you don't mod, at least not Tekken 8. So I'm hoping this helps people. But the thing to know is, like, once you're getting started, there are some folders in here, but these are not all the folders you're gonna need. Basically, what you're gonna be doing um, in the editor is recreating the game environment, right? So these folders and such. So if you get something that you pulled out of Fmodel that you want to put back in the game, where it's located, how folders are titled, all kinds of good stuff. The names of different assets is all very important, because we are not making a new game, we are making a patch to an existing game. So we're inserting ourselves into the process of the game to redirect it, to replace certain items, but other than that, we aren't changing the game itself. So we have to respect how it's built if we wanted to do what we wanted to do. So this is not one of my more exciting videos, if I have any exciting videos, but this one should be good to go. Let's see how long is this video so far. Said you're not doing any more stuff. Yeah, alright, I did a video on stage months that you can check up on. But we're at 1 hour and 12 minutes, so that's actually not too bad. When I set up like Tekken 7 initially, it took me like an hour, and like the custom version, like the full custom build, took me like an hour or two, or at least like I think almost 2 hours, I think, to get everything set up. So far we're doing pretty good. The longest parts are going to be the extraction of the resources and assets and getting them up and running for that first run. But after that, it's like, I don't know, I think it's about a 5 or 6 minute to package stuff and cook it up. So if you're just doing little changes, that could be a lot of time, so that can add up, but you're not going to be dealing with this once you get a successful pack, or you shouldn't be. Couple of rules to follow when you're doing your projects: do not bring in any assets that are cooked, right? So we're going to cook this, and as a result, I'm going to have a mod that has pieces in it. But if I extract a piece, like if I can go into Fmodel, and these are all U assets, right? And if I extract it, like save data for raw data U asset, I can't bring that in and look at it in here, right? It's like baking like a pie, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's made. You know what I mean? And if you bring it in here, it's gonna try to cook it and do stuff, and it's gonna mess up, and it won't package your stuff. So don't do that. Yeah, and that's all I really have on that. It looks like we're in the packaging stage finally. And then when people have errors with their packing or with their stuff, it's a better idea to like get a full log and send it to somebody, or post the log on Discord for people to look at, than to just like grab the error at the bottom. It's going to be a lot harder for people to troubleshoot and see what's going on if they're just looking at this project failed. But keep that in mind if you do run into errors on your own. Another piece of advice that I don't know if you need to do it or not. Oh, okay. So you have to allow. you may see yellow stuff, you may even see some red stuff in here, but at the end of the process, if it says complete and succeeded, you're good to go. Now, you might not have made a good mod, you might have made a mod that's going to break things in the game, but the modding and packaging part, you're good to go. If you do not get build succeeded, well then one, you won't have a mod to play with, but something needs to get fixed. So this is saying that something in my master material 2 hierarchy is not working, so I'm going to need to take a look at that, make sure all the pieces are there. Okay. So rather than grab the one that I grabbed, you should grab this one. This one is a lot bigger. Let's put this one. So what had happened was I had referenced some textures that I thought were in the game or in the project as defaults, and they're not. So when that loads up, it's not loaded correctly. So this is the one where all the textures are set to be there. All right, cool. And we'll get this packaging complete and we're good to go. Now, if we want to find where this is, you can click on an item as well and go back to show and explore. And you're going to go all the way back to content, right? So we'll go back to content. All the way back to the root, right? So past content, where the content folder is sitting. And we'll go to Windows. And you'll go to Polaris, then I think content, then packs. And this is where it is. But it looks like it didn't cook. Or maybe I've got too many 9s or something. Let's just try 1, 2, 3, 4. And maybe this should still cook something. Let's see what I got. Do we have anything in here? Common textures. Okay, we'll grab this. I'll just try it again. So let's save all. And we'll do it again. But the fact that we were able to get to this is a good sign. And so actually, you know what? I'm going to cancel this for a second. And let's go, I don't want to, not here, so let's go, I don't know what that is. I'm going to go up there. I'm going to go to this one, and we're going to extract that. So it's 3.1, we're going to go here, I've got content, so I'm just gonna copy it. Or I could drag and drop, but make sure it's copied. Copy. Alright, I want to save all. And it says import, so we'll say import. And now it's going to import all of the textures that are associated with it. Alright, looks like we're good to go there. I think we're good there. Oh no. Okay, so this is not right. So I'm gonna go in here. And these I'm gonna cut. And they need to go to here. Like there should not be a content folder inside my content folder. I'm just gonna hit replace. Hit import again. I'm gonna shut this down for a second. And I don't know why. Okay, so yeah, so let's I'm gonna go ahead and shut this down for a second. Let's try again. Okay, so I want to make sure that this content folder is like empty, which it is. So let's eat it out of here. Alright, so yeah. So now if I want to load it, I can do that. I'm also want to make a new shortcut. So I'm going to go ahead here, create a shortcut, cut this, and I'm going to put my launchers, and we're going to paste that shortcut here. And then I have quick stuff. So I want to make sure that I have my packs folder saved. Alright, so I'm going to go, I'm just going to, I think I have some packs folders listed, or maybe they all got deleted. So I still got my mods, but I deleted all like the base stuff for it. Go back and right click, pin to quick access, and there we go. I'm just going to move this up here. Alright, that way I can easily just go to where my stuff is at. I can just run to my launcher, so boom, load up Polaris. And then I'm gonna try to recook real quick, and then that's all I got time to do. I've got things I gotta get done this evening, so I won't be able to do any more on this particular stream. But yeah, about an hour and a half, you know, you're gonna have to dedicate to your initial startup. But of course, nothing says that you have to just sit here and watch it, right? Okay, so I've got this. That's what we're gonna be making. So let's go ahead and package. So it should take about 5 minutes. Okay, so it looks like everything is working, everything is good to go. Um, yep, not much else to see here for getting it set up. I went over Blender, some Fmodel stuff. There's my GitHub. You can get some information from the modding Zaibatsu Discord. Is there for you. There's a lot of information on there. There is no like, this is how to make a mod, right? There's how to do certain types of mods, things that you can do with your mods. But there is no just like, this is how you make a mod and it's done. I've got some videos on my YouTube where this is that. They'll be in the streaming section most likely. But it's going to take some investment to figure out where everything's going, what's going. If you're new to Blender, watch the videos, just tips and tricks how to start with Blender. Look at little baby programs. Look for some 15-20 minute if you don't want to watch something for a long time. Find a channel that's something you can listen to, you know what I mean, where you can the person's entertaining or whatnot, and you'll be good to go. But there's a lot of frustration that's waiting around the corner, but the payoff can be amazing. So I wish everyone luck, and yeah, hopefully you guys can get your setup up and running just like this.